I'm Daniel from Sorry State Records, and this week on the Sorry State blog, we're talking about when and where we listen to music. So I thought that rather than writing about it, I would give you a little tour of my home office and record room. I thought for a second that maybe I should clean up before I give the tour, but what kind of psychopath has a clean home office and record room? Probably not a real music lover. So, yeah, let's take a look. All right, so here's my record room slash office. Lots of stuff in here. There's records everywhere because I'm always really, really busy and have a million things to do. So, got like all my favorite gig posters and stuff hanging up. But yeah, I'll just kind of walk you through. Over here I got some guitars for, when I write those hot jams for No Love and Scarecrow. Got boxes and boxes of records here that need to be entered into Discogs. Those have been sitting there for months and I haven't gotten to them. Any like real record buyer has the New Arrivals bin for their house. And this is mine. So it's kind of LPs and 7-inches that I've been either acquired lately or listened to. So I got Faust, the new Lumpy and the Dumpers, Moonshake, my friend Sean let me borrow that, the new Haram LP, lots and lots of stuff in here. I got a little pile here that I need to file. These are things that have been in the New Arrivals for a few weeks and need to get stacked on the shelves. Got the 7-inch New Arrivals, this new Liquids, loving that. Suburban Studs, Dead Wretched, yeah, lots of goodies in there. Cool stuff I've picked up lately. So here's kind of the couch where I sit and do most of my music listening. This couch is my happy place. I try not to do anything that is a bummer there. I try to just listen to records and read here. So here's kind of some stuff I'm reading. I've got the booklet for that new Husker Du box set. I've got the new Roger Moret from Agnostic Front biography. My beverages of choice, coffee and LaCroix, always at the ready. My girlfriend's a potter and she made me this coffee mug with a design kind of adapted from Pink Flag, which is my favorite record. The coffee pot is also huge because I drink tons and tons of coffee. And this is kind of my view when I'm sitting and chilling and listening to records. That's my system. I'll kind of go through that in a few minutes, but I've got some more boxes of records there I'm working on for the store. I don't have my whole record collection in my office. It's really just hardcore and metal. I've got loads of like 77 punk and rock and krautrock and stuff in the living room. But that's more living room music. I like the hard stuff in my office. Here's my desk. Got some more guitars over there. This is my planner where I plan out everything. Here's the Sorry State checkbook. Very important. Never has much money in it. My laptop, which is super dirty. Practice amp. Here's my 7-inch collection. I built this shelf custom. I kind of adapted it from those front-facing LP bins that you see the designs for online. But, I don't have a ton of 7-inches. I kind of stick to stuff that I really, really like. But I've got lots of like 77 Punk, 999, my original Abura Dako Flexi. Got lots of Japanese hardcore and 77 Punk. That's kind of my main things. And US hardcore when I can find it. So there's Articles of Faith, got my Confused 7-inches here. Got lots and lots of fall records because I love the fall. But yeah, this is kind of all my 7-inches. I've got these swanky lights underneath so it's super bright right now in daylight, but I can shine that light there and find the 7-inch that I need when it's dark outside. But yeah, that's all my 7-inches. Some of the posters I've hung up, a lot of these I designed and printed myself. Other ones are just shows I was either at or really like the design. That one's falling down in its frame. Yeah, cool. And then I've got some of the early Sorry State releases and records that I played on framed over here. And while like it's kind of sitting and zoning out and looking at that while I'm listening to records. But yeah, so that's kind of the room. And then next I'll kind of take you through my system. Okay, so here's my system. As with the room as a whole, there's just like records laying everywhere because I'm always listening to stuff. I tend to put the record that I'm actually listening to in this little stack on the speaker. Last night I was listening to this Tokyo Flashback double LP of 90s Japanese psych stuff. It's pretty cool. I've got just like stacks and stacks of CDs all over my house because I only recently started buying CDs again. And I don't have any kind of shelf for them or anything, but there's lots of stuff like this guy, J.A. Caesar, this like 70s Japanese artist who did like soundtracks for experimental theater productions. Like the original records of this are hundreds of dollars and I could never afford them. Or like the Pretty Things SF Sorrow mono version, which, you know, the LP would be $300 or $400. Got lots of local bands and demo tapes that I'm listening to. Das Strip, Neon, Mind Dweller. My friends made me a copy of the original Sodom tape from Japan. I also buy a lot of CD box sets because they have lots of cool bonus tracks and stuff. So got a Faust box set here. I was listening to this Queen is Dead. I think it's like a 4 or 5 CD box set. And then I buy lots of jazz on CD too. I kind of like the way jazz sounds on CD actually. It's kind of open and clear sounding. But yeah, here's kind of my main components. So for receiver and amp, I've got this Carver thing. My guy who works on turntables had this, and he highly recommended that I pick it up. It's just a kind of solid state receiver. A lot of my stuff is kind of like intro grade, kind of higher end stuff. Like I can't afford to really spend money on records, but I think my turntable guy gave me this for like $200 or something. Then I've got my console CD player. What's awesome about these is no one cares about CDs, so I bought this for like like $7 or something at a local place. And then I've got this little Sony tape player. I tend to go through tape players really fast because they wear out really quickly. The heads get old and it's too much money to get them serviced and everything. So I tend to use them until they wear out. Someone brought this into the store to sell and it was like new in the box. They'd never opened it. So I took it home and made it my own. And then I've got 2 sets of speakers that are always hooked up. I've got these crummy little Infinity speakers that were, again, something somebody sold used at the store. And then I've got these Vandersteen floor speakers, which I picked up from an estate sale one time because the guy had a like $1,000 turntable. The person in front of me in line got the turntable, but I picked up these speakers, and I forget the model number, but you know, they're fancy. I think they cost like $1,000 new, but I got them for like $60. And I use the dual speaker setup because the Vandersteens have a kind of like more of a brittle, vintagey kind of sound. And then, I listen to lots of heavy music too. So the Infinities kind of fill out the bottom end and the mid range and heavier stuff, like hardcore and metal. Here's my turntable. I think it's the only component here that I bought new. It's a Project Carbon DC. But yeah, it's served me well. It's probably time for a new cartridge. I've got my little magic eraser here that I use to clean my stylus. You always have to have a record brush and some wet cleaner for those dirty records. If I'm listening to something old or dusty, I generally clean it off. But yeah, and then I've got my turntable like mounted to the wall here because I live in an old house with kind of bouncy floors, so I just mounted it to the wall here, slightly above the shelf. to give me a little more stability so I don't get so many things that skip. And then, of course, if you're into Japanese music and you have a ton of flexies, you always have to have a quarter next to the turntable for when you play your flexies. So, yeah, that's my system. I sit on my couch here, rock out to records. You can catch me doing this probably 6 or 7 nights a week. Like I said, it's my happy place. So that's how I do it. Thanks.